r/AskReddit, people who know someone who won the lottery, how did they change? Like the old quote, what did you do with your money? I spent most on coke and hookers and wasted the rest. God, I hope that first wife got half. She'd be the real winner and the scenario. Money well spent. He stuck the landing. My grandparents took our entire family on a cruise, and then paid for all of the grandkids' college educations and first cars. They bought a new house and cars, but took the payment over years option and rode that MF out, traveled all over the world. A friend's mom won in like 1989. This was before you could take the lump sum. After taxes her payout was $37,000/year for 25 years. She quit her job, thinking she'd be rich, but didn't realize she was making less than her job paid, and ended up going back to work a few years later because of insurance, etc. There's also the fact that you have a lot more time to spend when you aren't working, time that will often be used spending money. Well, the biggest Powerball winner in Australia, over $100 million, just kept going to her nursing job because she said she likes nursing. Not surprisingly, she made use of the option to remain anonymous. Apart from saying she bought new place to move into, no plans to do anything particularly flashy and especially not financially irresponsible. Jackpot next Thursday has hit $150 million for the first time. Going by past history, it'll likely go to 1 to 4 winning tickets. I'm a train driver and honestly it'd be the same for me. I just really like it, so I'd keep doing it. He didn't change at all. It was a moderately big win. He took his dream holiday and gave the rest away to family. He bought a house, got sober, and invested a bunch of time into hobbies. He went from being a good guy to a great guy. Super proud of him. Winner in RL. He didn't even put any away for retirement. Once I bought one of those $3 bingo cards and won $20. I cashed it in at the convenience store and the guy was so excited because, in his words, I've never seen anyone win so much money on these before. That was the last day I bought a bingo card. I worked at a gas station and cashed out tickets. I lost all interest in playing. Bingo card, let's spend 20 minutes to find out you lost. LOL. Give me the easier games, I can lose with efficiency. Girl that was jumping from one shitty job to another. Did win not a massive amount but enough to be able to study 2 to 3 years without having to work. Was able to land a good job and nice paycheck thanks to her studies, so basically changed her life for better. Now that is money well spent. I won $5 once. Minimal impact. You spend it all at once, classical pitfall for lotto winners. Really? My dad won prize at McDonald's and retired the next day. This the kinda of story I didn't expect, LOL, especially the getting sober part. Big props to him. A man comes home and asks his wife, if I won the lottery, what would you do? She says take half and leave your sorry ass. He hands her $5 and says here you go. Pack your shit. The max I ever win is enough to play again, LOL. The most I won from the lotto was $50. They bought a big house, went on loads of vacations, years later had to sell the house and downsize. In the end spent every last penny. I know a guy that won $1 million. It ended up being way less than that because of taxes. I didn't know him before he won, but he was older, like late 50s, but he didn't stop working. Still a fabricator and the nicest guy. Apparently he didn't buy anything big, still lives in his small house and drives a beater. Couldn't have had a nicer guy win it, honestly. I'd love just to win that amount. That means all of our debts are gone, including the house paid off. We'd have an extra 5.3k/month. My friend's aunt won about 800k, which can be a generational change sum if managed correctly. She gave her immediate family 1k each, about 15 persons, paid her and her husband's student loans in full, all of her debt and house mortgage, and decided to invest the rest. She still works at a school as a head teacher, and my friend tells me that her mentality is something like what easy comes, easy goes, so she doesn't spend the money lavishly. And she'll end up richer than some people that win millions on a lottery. Went to school with a guy whose parents won about $1 million. This was in the early 90s. His dad just paid off the house, sent his kids to private school and kept working. Last I heard, they're now retired but still in that house. I'd like to think if I won a lot of money, that I'd do something similar. She divorced her husband, a baggage handler for American Airlines if I recall, and married a rich flashy Cuban guy. But she did split the prize with her first husband. Reading a few of the unfortunate big winner replies really reinforces the advice to A. Keep big wins a secret, yes, even family. B. Immediately consult a financial advisor and or lawyer. C. Red A. I've always said my first call would be to a lawyer and financial advisor, figure out how to diversify it into investments that pay the bills including the wealth management fees, and then go from there. The won the Princess Margaret lottery with the house and car, sold both, bought another house and kept whatever money was left. Guy I worked with asked what would I do if I won a lot of lottery money. I said tell noon, see a financial planner, do what makes me happy. Later he brought a nice 4WD and left, and a while later I heard he was just fishing in Queensland. Tell noon. Who the fuck is noon? Not the lottery, but a good friend got a sizable inheritance in his mid-20s after his dad died. He and his wife bought a modest house, reliable cars, and opened what's now a successful business. He also quit drinking. Otherwise he's still pretty much the same dude. Mid-90s, a man from my county, about 50,000 people max, so pretty rural, won $500K in a lottery. Used the money to open up a handyman/repair business that his son runs today. Not the lottery, but I knew someone else who won $21,000 in 3 days at Vegas. Bought a partnership into a pirate-themed bar that lasted about 6 months. Shiver me timbers, that story did not go where I expected it to. My best friend's father won $1,000 a week for life scratch off. Moved his family out of a horrible 2-bedroom apartment in NYC and he moved them down to Florida. Was able to pay for his children to do all the extracurricular activities they wanted to. My folks won it in 2015 and now every problem they think they can just throw money at it. I became a widower, their reaction was to throw money at it. No wonder I have no contact with them. I don't know, that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. How much? I worked with a lad who won $80K on a scratch card. This guy had a daughter and still lived with his mum and dad. He spent it all on horses, booze and coke, lol. He lost his job shortly after and it was a few months until I saw him again. I asked him what did you do with that money, and he said he topped up his phone and bought a pair of trainers, LMAO, blew the rest. UKBTW. Did the horses thank him for his investment? Or were they negligent about that? The father-in-law of a close colleague won in the area of €250,000 on the Irish lottery many years ago. He did the classics of fancy car, big house, and gave a lot to his family. 2 years later he was dead from alcohol poisoning, having spent most of that time in the pub with all of his newfound friends. $250K is not a lot to be splashing it like that. I'll get back to you after next Thursday. Remember that we are your friends. I knew a guy whose computer I used to fix who won a few $100,000. He couldn't handle it and ended up pissing it all away on alcohol, crack, and women. As far as I know he didn't even pay off his house with it. Money can't buy class. I worked with someone who won a house. Then a few years later, they won a condo on a different lottery. They were nasty, mean, devious and rude before they won. And remained that way after they won. As another colleague said after the first win, you'd think they're a good person. SMH. I don't think she had a choice to not split the prize. Marital assets are split 50-50. Neighbor won like $300K, I think. Nobody knows for sure. He redid the heat insulation of his house, installed some extremely ugly water heating panels on the roof, and he also bought the neighboring house. It's a 3-story multi-apartment decrepit as hell old house from like 1830s, and it's extremely dangerous and unstable. Other than that, he stayed the same moron as he was before. I think he spent about 2/3 RDS of his money on this, at least if my guesstimations are somewhat correct. A workmate won the lottery, quit the job and spent most of his time traveling around the world. He is now broke and in depression. I think the key would be to travel like a backpacker. Once you start staying at 5-star hotels and renting luxury cars, you're doomed. Traveling around the world sounds good to me. The parents of a girl I went to school with work $7.5 million, and the parents kept their day jobs for a bit and invested in real estate, before quitting said jobs. The daughter, one day, came to school with a terrible fake tan, lots of makeup and new clothes. Honestly, she was kinda a bitch before her parents won, and that part of their story did not change. My neighbor won the lottery, and the next day, they replaced their front door with one of those Grand Castle gates. I mean, seriously, I had to use a drawbridge just to borrow some sugar. They're still nice, humble people though. A lot of flashy people are living well beyond their means. Ever been to Miami? LOL. Maybe he married her to help maintain that flashy lifestyle. Of course I'm just speculating, so YMMV. My former boss won it. Divorced his wife, married some plastic-filled new lady. Ended up divorcing her too and owning on cocaine somewhere in the Caribbean. What a nice end. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again. Reddit glitch out.